as they did last week. They're going to be watching the playoffs starting tomorrow on Golf Channel, Peacock, NBC on the week. They're going to see a restored East Lake. It's a blank slate for the fans and a blank slate for a lot of you players. What are you expecting in terms of how the golf course will present itself this week?
Well, you know, as always, when there's a new course, no one knows where to hit it, what to do. All your years of you know, practice here are gone, and then the greens are brand new, so they're rock hard, like as hard of a greens as you'll ever play. And so you have to hit the fairways. Hitting the fairways at East Lake's always important, but it's a mystery. We're all trying to figure out how to play. I haven't even played the front nine yet. I'm going out after I talk to you guys and try to figure out how to play this course. But as always, it's very difficult here, and you know, we're playing with a lot of pressure at this tournament. There's a lot at stake.
Keegan, along those lines, with the rock-hard greens, with so much at stake this week, $25 million to the winner, do you believe that the golf course has settled in or grown in enough to provide a proper test, or do you wish that the Tour Championship had been played at a different venue this week and buy some time for East Lake to grow in?
I think it has, for sure. I think there's definitely, with the greens being firm, like I know there's a few back tees on some par threes that the 15th hole they can't play the back tee, couldn't hit the green, I don't think. So the PGA Tour officials always do a great job setting up the golf course to make it a fair test. And you know, the greens are perfect. They're just firm, so it's going to be really important to hit the fairways. But I think it's important to play the Tour Championship at East Lake. This is where the history has happened for the FedEx Cup. You know, I was walking through the clubhouse, I saw Bobby Jones' USAM trophy. It's just got a lot of great history here.
Keegan, you've moved from 50th to 4th in the FedEx Cup standings. A year ago, you were tied for the lead after the first round, had a lot on your mind, chance of Ryder Cup. You were fighting like crazy to make that team. Anything you learned from last year's experience that you can kind of carry into this year and kind of handle the staggered start and all the pressure in the playoffs?
I think so, yeah. I think last year was challenging with that Ryder Cup. I vowed to myself that I would never get that crazy or invested or, you know, emotional about making one of these teams again, because it took a lot out of me, it took a lot out of my family, my wife, and that was a mistake. In golf, you always play your best when you're kind of letting it happen. When you try harder in golf, you most of the time play worse. So, you know, this is a course that I think I can play well at. I have to keep reminding myself that I'm 4th on the FedEx Cup. I'm so thrilled to be here, and then I have to go, wait a second, you're only 4 back of Scotty, who won 15 times this year. So it's an interesting spot to be in, and I'm really proud of it.
Keegan, you were named an assistant captain for the President's Cup about 4 weeks ago. Prior to the BMW Championship, you were 18th in the U.S. standings. How much have you even been in the conversation as a potential captain's pick before what happened at Castle Pines?
Well, to be honest with you, any discussions about me being on the team, I don't think should go through me, really. It doesn't make much sense. But all I want to do is what's best for the team. And I really mean that. If that means me playing, then I want to play. If that means me being a vice captain, I want to do that. Regardless of what happens, I'm going to be in Canada, and I'm going to learn a lot as to, you know, how to be a captain. The guys out there playing, I really want to learn about what goes into the pairings and all that. And I just want to do what's best for Jim and the team, and whatever they decide, I'm happy with.
And Keegan, we believe you, especially the way you handled last year's disappointment. But I've been covering you for more than a decade. You are feisty, you are a competitor, and I know you'll love to be inside the ropes. Could this potentially be a case where you are a playing vice captain, and that helps you in the event that maybe next year you continue to play well, and that would be a great test for you to be a playing captain? Just let's go all in, chips all in the middle of the table.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's so many different scenarios that really the golf world, the Ryder Cup world has never really seen. And so people ask me all the time, can you be a captain and play? And I'm like, I have no idea. I've never done it. That hasn't happened since Arnold Palmer in 1962. So we're all learning as we go here. And all I know is I'm going to be the best captain that I can be. And I am going to put everything I have into this being the captain. And, you know, I owe it to the United States of America, but I also owe it mostly to the players to do the right thing. And I'll know what that is when the time comes, and I'll know what I need to do to help the team win at Bethpage, and that's what I'm going to do.
Keegan, now that you're a part of the process for the first time, I'm curious how you view roster construction. Are you like a NFL GM who is trying to build for the future, or do you approach it kind of like a hot seat coach who's trying to win right now by any means necessary?
Well, I think most of it is right now. This isn't, I certainly want to have the team be younger. The younger guys get some chance to play, so, the following Ryder Cups they can perform. But, again, like I keep saying, you owe it to the players to do what's right and to win this Ryder Cup. I say all the time, you never know when your last shot is in the Ryder Cup. I never expected my last shot in the Ryder Cup to be Glenn Eagles, the losing point to Jamie Donaldson. You never know when you hit that last shot. So, every single shot you hit, every point you play for, every match, every team dinner, you got to treat like it's your last, because you never know. You never know when your last Ryder Cup is going to be, and that's a message I really want to get across to the team, that there's extreme urgency to every one of these, and especially when we're playing at home in front of Bethpage, these boys, we're going to want to go out and win it.
And you have that perspective. You've seen the highs and lows of this game, Keegan. I'm curious now at 38 with this latest win, with last year at the Travelers, and now you're a Ryder Cup captain. Have you reassessed your own playing goals and the people you're beating, and kind of what's potentially possible for you in your late 30s and early 40s as a player?
Definitely. My dream my whole life was to play in the PGA Tour and to do this. Sometimes I have to pinch myself and realize, geez, I just went out and won a playoff event against the best players in the world, and I could still do this. I can still be a top player. I can still, contend in majors and play at a high level. And, it's a really proud thing for me, because golf means a lot to me, and in a lot of ways that can hurt, because you push too hard or you want it too bad, and I'm always envious of the guys that sort of let this roll off their back, and they don't get too bothered by how they play. And for me, it's the opposite. I really want to leave my mark on the game, and show my two boys that their dad can still play. And it's been fun to see them watch me, as they kind of are starting to get what's going on. And I want to keep going. I still feel like I have many more years of